So, being a part of church leadership is addicting. Probably in the same way I imagine being a part of a gang would be addicting, because it's like you have that community aspect and you know, kind of gives you like some kind of well, one of the things I wrote down was like meaning, not like purpose, like biblical purpose, because churches get it twisted, but meaning, like you want to rise through the ranks, you want to please, the people in please your people, it's like, it's kind of like, I don't know if you'd call it like institutionalized in a way, but like how you get out of high school and then it's like, oh, who do I hang out with now? Well, my friends moved away, so it's like, then people start going to these other things and replacing that popularity contest type thing.
Yeah, I feel like it was similar to like a sorority and a fraternity in a way of like, the people at the top are like the most popular and everyone wants to be like them and looks up to them and gives them respect and stuff. And at least that's how I felt. And like the higher that I like got up there, I liked that feeling of people like knowing who I was, and like sometimes people would like come up to me in the grocery store and they would be like, oh, like I saw you, in the videos like a couple Sundays ago. That was really cool. And I was like, oh, wow, thanks. And like, that's so crazy that somebody recognizes you in like a grocery store, And I was like, dang, that like feels really cool. Like I feel really cool, And so it is like, that is addicting, and I could imagine how like famous people, like actual famous people, like actresses and stuff would like love feeling that at first.
Yeah. Such a deeper level too. Like,
right. And then I could see how it would be really annoying if like you can't go anywhere and like, your leggings and a messy bun.
Yeah.
And not have people like try to talk to you. But in a small town, in a small church like that, being recognized was like, whoa, I feel like we're going somewhere. That feels really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote down clout, which I don't even really know why I wrote that down, because I don't know what that means. I'm going to look it up real quick.
What? Did you spell it wrong at first?
Yeah. Strong influence, especially political power. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That too, I feel like the higher you got up, the more influence you had on like, at least for me, for example, like the more influence I had on like, okay, we should go with this design, for the next series graphic because this, and this are like super trending right now. They're upcoming trends. So we want to stay kind of like ahead of the curve. And like towards the end-ish, I feel like they listened to me quite a bit about at least stuff like that, because they were like, okay, she's actually like really cool and we should listen to her opinion on that. And that just, as a person, I feel like makes you feel validated and good. And so it makes you want to keep working for them and doing other things, even if they're really shitty to you other times, those kind of like little moments of like, okay, I'm just going to give you just enough to make you want to keep doing this for me,
Yeah.
So to me, that was like addicting in a way.
Well, I feel like what would happen at the church we were at was, and like with most of the stuff I feel like we talk about, I feel like all this is woven into all churches that I see. Maybe there's some that aren't like this, but they're all full of people and we're all the same. So I don't have a lot of hope for that. But I guess the respect of performance, how, you want recognition for the stuff that you do for God or whatever it is that, whatever it is that your little mission is, it's like, it's in a way it's like competitive because you want to shine, you want to stand out. And that becomes kind of wrapped up in how good you are, how righteous you are, how much influence you have, and that's funny that that's in the definition, because that was one of the things that they talked about so much was like, well, one of the things, I'll say it this way, one of the things that I got like kind of insulted with a lot was PJ, because, well, if I were to, do something offensive to one of the, the leaders, it would kind of frequently come back to, PJ, maybe God doesn't give you influence because you don't submit to me. And so it's like, well, damn, I want God to be happy with me. So I need to fix this problem about myself so that I can have influence.
Yeah, because who doesn't like want that in some type of capacity? Like, if somebody's struggling with something and you give them advice and they take it and it works out, like, that makes you feel really good, So I feel like that is also like a normal part of life, like my friends and I did that for each other in high school and stuff, and that was normal. But then at church, it became like, oh, well, who are you leading in your small group, and who do you have influence over? And it's like, well, can't they just be my friends? And also, like, we all influence each other. Like, why does it have to be this like higher rank thing? And then it turns it into a competition.
Yeah.
Like, well, I only had 4 people at my small group this week, and so had 20. They must be such a better influencer than I am. Right.
Yeah. And a select set of talents is really highlighted in church.
Right.
Like every Sunday, I should we just use names?
If you want to. I don't care.
I don't know if we can get like sued for that or something.
Yeah, I would say.
I mean, we're not using full names. Only the people there know.
I mean, it could be like defamation, so I would say probably it's not the best idea.
Well, anyway, so, almost 100% of the time on a Sunday after worship, music happened, the pastor would be like, hey guys, give it up for our worship team. Like they're in here working hard, every day of the week or every week, sometimes several times a week. And it's just like, let's give it up. Oh, you can do better than that. And it's like, what about homeboy washing the toilets?
Yeah.
Like, bringing you your orange juice and shit. Like, I mean, why wouldn't they highlight everybody?
Right.
And I do feel like some churches, I see, some efforts to do that. But my point is how, nobody wants to do the stuff that doesn't get recognition. So everyone's striving for the famous spots.
That's very interesting, because I definitely feel like it was like that with the small groups too. Like, people get praised for the amount of people that they had in their small group. Mind you, they don't know anything about them, and it's like, if your small group is only 4 people, but you have like a very close, intimate relationship with them, and you're actually like helping them and they're like enriching your life, I feel like that's way better than just having a bunch of people there on like a surface level. What?
Don't look at my eye twitching.
I wasn't. I wasn't, but now I am.
Thing's been twitching for like 2 weeks now.
You need some, what do you need?
I don't know. I think it's the allergies.
Oh, that could be.
What were you thinking, the TRS stuff?
No, the magnesium.
Oh, right. Yeah, maybe I do. I probably do.
Anyway, so I feel like, yeah, it was like, okay, the people who can get the most people there and then also like have the most showy talents got a lot of recognition.
Yeah.
And those were some of actually the most unhealthy people there, which is
Exactly.
very interesting.
Well, yeah, and I was going to say, as you were talking, I had this idea come in about how there were people and are people that I see in churches that don't give a crap about being on camera or getting recognition or getting praised or any of that stuff, and they don't associate how they serve on Sunday with their right standing with God. But I do feel like the people that have issues with that, or maybe are more narcissistic, or maybe were less popular in school or something, I don't know, like those types of people really seemed to want to strive for those like spotlight positions. And on the flip side of that, if they were doing stuff to the best of their ability and working hard and didn't grow as much as other people grow, like, and didn't build a 20-person small group, then it was like major insecurity. Like, what is wrong with me? Like,
Yeah.
and then they end up backsliding in their faith because they're not performing
Right.
a certain thing that maybe they're not even designed to do. It'd be stupid for, me to try and, what can't I do? Well,
That's
I
a good
think
question.
hyping up a crowd on Sundays, sucked at that. Don't give a crap about that. I'm not hyped up usually myself, so it would be
That's a good
really
point.
stupid for me to try and do that.
Yeah.
But the times that I did, there was a lot of stress around that because it was something that was so highlighted and praised.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very interesting.
You guys need to listen to so and so and blah blah blah. And I mean, we saw this with some people who actually replaced veteran like leaders in the church, people who actually had wisdom and experience with life and stuff, and they were replaced by people that didn't know diddly squat except how to hype up a crowd,
Right.
how to like play a guitar, how to do stuff that's really showy that might draw a crowd, but in the long run is the end of your church, basically, because how are they going to take care of these people? They don't even have any kids. They're not leaders. They're not
Right.
leaders. They have talent, and they have some skills and stuff that they built in the last 20 years of their life that, it's like, it was really, I felt a lot of times like really embarrassed. And I wish, going back, I probably, if I knew what I know now, I would speak up about that and say, hey, this is bullshit. I don't think this person is nearly as capable as this other person. And why do you want them to be a leader? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
They're rude. They get stressed out easily. They have anxiety. They don't have enough money really to travel to and fro from church and meetings and stuff. They always need a ride. How is that qualified? Anyway.
Because they're anointed.
Right.
Like, it says you.
Exactly. That's what they would say.
You don't think God would make it possible for somebody who's qualified to also be anointed?
Well, here's how deep that stuff ran, because the truth would never come out about why they did that stuff, because the answer would be along the lines of, well, they don't have time because they have a family, and we need them 24/7, like waiting on us hand and foot.
Right.
And so, those like college age, easily persuaded, kids are just better for that. I don't know, better slaves.
Well, because the thing was, if you had a family and wanted to spend time with them, and then also wanted to lead a team maybe because you're really passionate about whatever that team was and felt like you could do it, but if you didn't do it fast enough or exactly the way that the pastors would want you to, then you had time management issues, and you definitely should be able to figure out a way to spend all your time with your family and all your time at the church, or raise up leaders like this so that you don't have to be there, and then you get to spend time with your family. And it's like, why don't we just build slow and healthy instead of like...
That was actually one of the things that really drew me into the church in the beginning, and I was just innocent and trusting, I mean, the people that I hung out with, they just were true to their word. So when I came to that place and I heard the pastor saying things like that, which actually I think he probably was more true to, wanting to build a healthy church in the beginning than over the years, and that kind of morphed into, corroded. Mm-hmm. But, what was I going to say about that?
That he wanted to build a healthy church?
Oh, yeah. One of the things he said, and apparently did because the church was so small, was focus on helping people to become healthy Christians and to really know God and to really discover whatever your talents, and this kind of stuff. And he had like a really wholesome vision. And I don't know that ever, that the vision actually ever became unwholesome looking because of how good they were at deceiving people, but it just wasn't that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and who knows if that was like him and his wife's kind of like fire and fire together, making that worse.
Fire and gasoline, you mean?
Yeah. I was like, what is that phrase? I was thinking oil and water, but I was like, no, that's not that's not what I mean.
Well,
but yeah,
I mean, you could use multiple analogies for them because they had so many personalities.
That's true. Oh, that is true.
They were oil and water. They were fire and gasoline. They were dirt and seeds. I don't know.
Yeah, so I feel like that also probably contributed to wanting to grow really fast and thinking that because you spend time with people on your day off that is making them healthy, but it's not.
Yeah.
So I would say that for me, church leadership was addicting because I liked getting recognition, especially as a creative person. It feels really good when somebody's like, oh, you did this thing and it's so awesome. It just makes you feel really good. And so I feel like that was probably the main reason that I stayed. Well, one of the main reasons, I guess, in that leadership aspect of it. They gave me just enough little compliments that made me feel like I could actually become like the media pastor or creative pastor one day, and that was like, yeah, just a carrot dangling in front of you. It's like, I have to get it,
Excuse me. If you're wondering why my eye is so puffy, it's because the allergies suck in Texas right now.
I socked him in the face.
Yeah, that too. Well, it's interesting how that was what was addictive to you because you are a creative person. And so you want validation for the effort you put into creating things. Mm-hmm. And I felt like the part of it that was really addictive for me and kind of felt like the most loss was the friendships and feeling like the friendships were just so true and deep that even though all this bullshit happened all the time, it was like, well, I think they really love me though. Like I know these people are in my life until the end. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because when like we had the affair, it was right around the time where I was just getting hammered for shit, stupid shit. Mm-hmm. And some of them were my closest friends. And it was like, all right, I have nothing here.
Yeah.
I mean, this other path just looks so much more attractive because, what I really believed in, what I really like appreciated the most about that place turned out to be completely false. Like just felt like I was being used. Yeah. My feelings didn't matter about stuff. My opinions didn't matter about stuff. I mean, it only takes so many times of you trying to like test that out before you realize, yep, like the test results come back negative for friendships here. negative for, I don't know. But yeah, so yeah, I think for me, it's like I still have dreams. I had a dream last night about hanging out with some of the people from there. And it was kind of in the context of like now, like afterward, and like we ran across each other or something. And this morning I was thinking, and it was like, it was good to talk with them, which is like really weird.
Yeah.
Because I miss the people I thought I had, that I thought I knew.
Right.
And I think that's why I'm so afraid of going back to church, because it's like, I just wasted a decade on these people. Why am I going to go and just like, and just try and do that again? Mm-hmm. I think I want to try a different way. Let us know in the comments if you guys have thought about this, or if you feel like you ever had like an addiction to church or something like a church environment where you almost didn't want to give it up even though you knew something wasn't right. So let us know what you think about that. Thank you for checking out the Church Podcast. Please like and subscribe to our channel. To support the channel, go to patreon.com/The Church Podcast. If you have any information or an idea that could improve the Church Podcast, please leave a comment or leave a private message through our social accounts. Take care.